Are there grants for women to start a business? I get asked this question quite often when people are getting started up and they're looking for funding to work on their marketing or their sales. And the honest answer is, I'm not really the expert on it.
You have to help me, okay?
So today we've brought Andrea Wilcox in because she is the expert in finding grants and government funding, and we're going to show you what is available for you as a new business owner.
You're good.
I'm Amy Walker, your business bestie, and I'm a small business strategist. I've helped hundreds of entrepreneurs be able to grow their business to 6 and even 7 figures. And here's the deal. I know that you can do it too, but sometimes you just need that friend that you can pick their brain. So welcome to the Business Bestie playlist.
Welcome to the real world.
It's challenging when you're starting up a business and you don't have any funding. I remember when I was launching my business, I knew without a doubt that I had to get some help. It was not an option. I was 6 weeks away from having my 5th son. My husband was working nights. He was going to school during the day. They were all little. And I knew that I needed somebody to teach me the parts of my business that I didn't know, or I was likely to either fail or it was going to take me a really long time to be successful. And I had no time to waste. But at the time, I really didn't know how I was going to get the funding in order to pay for the consulting and coaching that I needed.
Look, you're not the only one. I mean, half the time we don't know where we're going.
Now, in my case, I did not go the path of grants. I went the path of financing, and it actually cost me quite a bit of money and interest. So are there grants available for new business owners that you are going to be able to get some free money? Let's go find out. Miss Andrea Wilcox, thank you so much for being here with us and being willing to show us how do we find grants as women in business. This is something that's out of my wheelhouse, so I knew we needed to bring on an expert.
Thank you for having me. And this is, of course, a question that I get often from everyone, not just the ladies.
Yeah, so when people are coming and they're looking for grants, first of all, I know that they're out there, right? And I know that a lot of them go unclaimed. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Probably the first thing that I do when someone comes in to talk to me about a grant is I try to get them to calm down, settle down, because there's all this excitement around the free money. There is some out there, and I've been doing this for quite a while. As you know, I used to tell people when they came in and right away, like that's a falsehood, that they don't exist. But over the years, I've been doing it for 15 years, there are opportunities. But what I tell them now, Amy, is that they are competitive opportunities. So you really have to be in that mindset of competing and being willing to put in the work to go and look at these opportunities. So there are some opportunities. The first place that they should look is the grants.gov. That website, there's a search tool there so that you can look for the agency where there might be a fit for the type of business that you have. So I certainly recommend that. Google is our friend. Get Google out and do a search for grants in the industry that you're in, the city that you're in, and just look for those opportunities. I can tell you that they do exist. So here in Kingsport, for example, we partnered with the city and had a small business grant opportunity. And we didn't get as many applicants as we would like to have seen. And why is that? Not wanting to put in the work, right? The work, because there's an essay. You have to tell us why you want the money, what you're going to do with the money.
Now, I know that your real sweet spot and what you're so brilliant in is helping people to be able to get government contracts. And I think that's also, that's not free money, right? Like it's money that you're going to work for, but there is a lot of money that's available there. In getting government contracts, what do you have to do before you can start applying for those?
So you need to have some business, be in business at least a couple years. So if you just got your business off the ground, this is not a place, where you're going to go and get some immediate satisfaction. So you need to be in business at least a couple years to do that. But this does tie into the conversation that we're having about grants, because I have had so many people come and want to get their business certified as a woman-owned business so they can take advantage of the grant opportunities. So there is a connection. And so that is something that I certainly would do as a woman-owned company, is look at what is involved in getting my company certified as woman-owned. And you can do that at the state level, wherever you are watching Amy from, because this is a national program, I know. But at the state level, there's going to be an office or agency that can do that for a small business. So get that certification. Then if you're feeling strong, you got positive response, you got that certification letter, then you can take it to the next step and look at SBA. The Small Business Administration, and going through their process. A lot of these are online now. So again, you have to be patient. You have to have all your documentation and ducks in a row. And that again is where a failure can happen, not having all the documentation that's required, like meeting minutes, the LLC paperwork, those things, you have to have those things.
Yeah, it's so interesting when you say most people don't do this because it takes work. I feel the same way about people's sales, right? Like everyone says they want the sales until it's time to make the calls. Everybody wants the grant until it's time to write the essay. Everyone wants the contract till they got to do the documentation. So when it all comes down to it, what I'm hearing from you is that there are opportunities that are out there, but you just have to plan on working to get the money.
You have to work on getting the money. And Amy, once you get the money, guess what? There's usually strings attached. So now you need to do a report. You need to write them back what you did with that money in some cases, or give them that photo op that they asked for. So there usually are strings attached. And that can really turn people off of seeking some of the grant funding that's out there. Because it's usually not, here's the money, we'll just never see you again. They want something in return. It might be a report, that photo opportunity, or also keep in mind your information could be public. And some people don't like that. They don't want people to know that they received this money and now they're on some list. So there are usually strings attached.
Well, I so appreciate you sharing this with us because I've never gone after grants. And now that you're talking, I can totally see why. I would rather just go make some money and then have to answer to no one.
Absolutely. Because you will be answering to someone.
Yeah. But this is really helpful information to know, and I appreciate you coming and sharing with us. And I feel like I want to have you back on again to talk a little bit more about becoming a woman-owned business and going after some of those government contracts. So maybe we're going to have to make that happen.
My pleasure.
Friend, I so want you to be successful in your business. So I've got 2 gifts for you. The first is go check out my video on 10 steps to successful goal setting. I know it's going to make a big difference. And second, if you need some help in your sales and marketing, I would love to offer you my free sales and marketing GPS, where we can look at what's going on in your sales and marketing and give you that inside scoop and some best friend advice on how to be able to get your sales and marketing working better. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you come back again. And anytime you're struggling in your business, just remember that I'll be there for you, and you can be there for me too by going and watching this next video.